See, basically yesterday we have discussed about the two microservices we have created, and also like we have created one gateway. But the thing is, we have not connect both the microservices to each others. Correct? So we want the communication now. So what communications we needed? Like yesterday we have tested some EPAs after running these applications. See, we were fetching like the managers and employees, but in employees the manager's name was not fetching. So when I'll prepare like the managers wala DTO inside like the employees, so it should be fetch the manager details also there. Yes or no? So like I want that things. So first of all, like what I'll do, like I'll just like run it's one manager wala partner here, and also like I'll run this UMP service. One of our gateway. Okay, so what I'll do, like we have just created one DTO inside, like we pass the manager ID now for fetching the details. So also I want the like manager name also there. So when you are calling this get EMP wala method, so here like what details it is fetching now?
MID, employee name, employee salary,
The employee details and one MID, no?
yeah.
So here I want M name also. With MID it should be page the M name. But we know the M name which is not present here, even not in a table. M name which is present inside the manager table and which is present there in a manager service. Correct? So like how will I do here? Like I'll just come into the employee service. Okay. We have to just prepare this DTOs. This is one the add wala DTO. So I'll just prepare one more DTO here. The same details I have to take it. Only what other extra details like we have to take it. The name. Correct. So we'll take one more field, that is M name. Correct, na? So how will I get the details here now for the M name? Right now if you try to like fetch it, so like it will not able to fetch na the M name.
You have to change the DTO.
Yes, so here like we have not changed na inside the controller. And service also na here we have changed it. Oh sorry, it's add wala na, it's fetch. Yeah, this is need to import it na here. EMP DTO it's not public. Okay, so now it will take The one more thing in a mapping also need to add it na here. Mapper config, like we'll add the emp with correct, in a controller. It's fine na. Get employees. Okay, so now mname is fetching null because right now there is no mname na. So like how to fill out these details now for the name? How will I get it this name? So for that, like we'll take a help of the manager. So like what we'll do, like here inside it now, like I'll just come into the DTO, or like you can just make it like the one helper. Okay, so you can go inside like the domain also as well as in a DTO. So I'm just taking the help of the DTOs only. Okay, and we are adding one class. We are giving name as manager client class, which will handle like the field of your managers inside the employee. Okay, so there is class, the manager client class. What other things like we have to do here? Like first of all, I will make it this
You have a text message.
public. One class, it's one user defined class is there, manager clients. Here why we created it? So here we are calling the manager wala API, that get by ID wala. So that API I'll call here and I'll try to fetch the details here. Okay, and this method like we can call in a employees na, where it is required. Correct. So for that, like how it is possible, like how to do this basically in this client. See, first of all, like when you are taking any class or like when you are like initiating any method na inside it, so need to register inside like the employee, like how it will find out from which port number like you are fetching this method. Correct. So like first of all, like what I'll do, like I'll just add the constructor for this manager clients. So see, you know, consuming wala part, if you watch, so in that like I have explained the HTTP client. The HTTP client, like who is calling the EPAs basically, it's hitting the EPAs. So here we need to take a help of the HTTP client here. Correct. So here we will pass one method public. What we have to return? We have not created the manager detail here, no? So can we return like here the instead of, or need to create the manager detail na for fetching the manager details? Okay, so we have the employee detail 2 is there. So what I'll do, like I'll just create new class. Here we'll give the name as manager DTO, and what details like we have to keep inside this MID and mname, the same manager. String mname, correct. So here will come inside this manager clients public. What I have to return? Manager DTO, na, the single manager DTO will return. Okay, so which method like we are calling from the microservice from this? This one, na? Correct. and there is one parameter that is id, correct na? So this id I am taking. So after that, like how it will hit it now, what I have to return? Client dot. So here like we'll get one method that is for the consuming one. Here you can see get from JSON async. Okay, so it will just fetch the data and it will convert into the JSON. Which data like we are going to convert here? See, now this is one the asynchronous method. So here what we need to do? Correct. And then here it is await na. So what I have to call here? Our API. So like I'll just pass the interpolation, and what is my API name here? Managers slash this ID na here. So what it's one. Correct. So it should be get it here, the managers, and after that it will just look for the ID na, which ID we are fetching here. Sends a get request to the specified your returns value. Is this correct method? Get from JSON async. This is one the direct method. Indirectly also like you can go with this.
The URL, like the local host.
URL like will not pass here. URL I will configure in a program.cs, which is one the common base URL. Get from async. It's asking for the URL. Here it will look for the data now. Some same method it will look na here.
What is that serializer DCA? Serializer.
Which video I told in that like I have explained in a consuming work, serialization, deserialization, what it is doing. So that's why I told yesterday. You just watch the video. I've explained na there serialization and deserialization what it is doing. So when the serialization is required basically for converting object into bytes, means into the JSON when you're posting the request, and here we are getting the request from JSON to object na for the fetching time. Okay, so we'll just look into this method. Why the builder dot services dot add HTTP client. So in that we have to register it. That is one. Sorry, the class name is what? Correct. So here like will pass the lambda expression. Dot base address so here we have to set like the key, let's say the manager address, no, the base address we are adding na, so here we have to call the URI. So here it will ask the URI basically, and then here we'll pass builder dot here it is asking for the key, so here we'll pass the key name, manager address, okay, or else it will just check for this. If it is there, so the key it will set for this one, no? So what is the IP address for this manager wala, which one is this, no? See this one. This is one our URL which we are accessing. So this is one the registration part. Method is correct, na? There which method we are calling there from it. Naming rule evaluations. The method is correct now here.
Saying that await HTTP client dot get async only get async. Client dot get async then the method in the bracket.
Method is also correct
Not
here.
that arrow dot get async.
Same it is the get from JSON async, so it's fetching from the JSON only. Check here the method. The registration is now correct one. Why the method is not taking? The manager client is registered now. Or we can just do one thing inside it. Here the method is synchronous. The same method they are calling. Get from async. See, I think it is required na, see. here we are trying to call the synchronous method, and here it is expecting the asynchronous, because we are returning like the asynchronous response. And in a manager you can see like it's one by synchronous method is there. So how to make it like the asynchronous? This task in a manager, because we are accessing this method na here, we'll make it the async. Here it is not here na, here. Yes, is this correct? Check it. Async and await, like how will I make it here? I have make it this method as asynchronous na now here. So in interface also like need to make it, then we are returning here the synchronous na, where it is inside the repo. This one na, the get manager wala. What I have to make it? Correct. So like after that like we'll go in a task, fine, async. Okay, so now this method is returning the asynchronous data here. So the mapper is not needed here. It's not needed here. This one only the response we have set is the await only. See, the response is getting in a asynchronous. Will come into the controller. Wait, why it's showing the warnings? This method is only asynchronous na here now. Correct. So here asynchronous we are calling na this get manager by ID. But still now this method is it's synchronous na now again. So for again like we need to make it this asynchronous, because the why we are calling like it's required the asynchronous operation there. The same method was there na, get manager by ID. Where will pass the await keyword. It's already passed na. The method like we are calling this one method. We have added this one, the manager service also. It's returning the. We are returning this MD na. This response is going, but again it is mapper. We are not returning the D. Yes, tell me like what we have to do here. The simplest solution. See here. The same thing like we have passed the async here. The method is already make na here async task, correct? Okay, so the parameter is MID here. I'll just make it the ID only for the understanding here now. Okay, so the next here it's what, the ID same, find async, and where we are returning the responses. The thing here, the get by ID wala, this service, the return, this get manager by ID, like which is one, the async. So here itself, like what we'll do, like we'll pass a wait here. Okay, so after that, like how the method will get now. Now it is fine up to that enough from this one. It is now the asynchronous, na. We'll see first whether the response is getting or not from the service. This is one, the get manager by ID wala. IDs was present, I think we have not deleted any records. So manager wala response we are getting na here. Yes, we'll come into the service here. The again, like we are calling like which method here from this? Get manager by ID, na, same method I am calling, na, from this. Yeah, it's not get async dot get from JSON async. We return the manager DTO. The parameter now check it, it's the correct now, the ID only like we are taking. The URL is also correct now. Slash manager slash ID. It's the warning, it's there are the issues. Now reference written. Here now it is the asynchronous, no, now so again less accessible methods. Okay, it's the just method name which doesn't matter here. Method naming is going issues, I think. This method we are calling, na, which is also asynchronous. Parameter is correct, na, the ID only. We have make it na public.
In the same class, therefore we do.
Still she showing the warning here. The method is same, see here it's matching the methods. it should be not show the warning. Fine, let's see like whether how it is going the request. Okay, so see like up to this it is fine. So now where I have to call this method now? Here na in EMP repo. Yes. See here we are calling the fetch EMP wala data. Yes or no? This one na inside like the EMP repo. So can I just inject like one more here? That is manager client. Manager client. The next is what here like how to call it. Here I am fetching the data na? Let's say var, here we are fetching the data of manager na? Which method I am calling? Client dot the id d dot so the d dot like we need to fetch the MID na from this, the d which is fetching the employees wala data. Here it is written like all the employees na, the list of employees we are returning. So instead of that like what we'll do like here, find, and here like we'll pass the, we'll check for one method na for fetching find by id wala. So here what I'll do the change, one id only na. See, so here now it will fetch the one employee na d. So through that like I can check here the d dot MID will get it, and the MID it will check inside that na manager will give the records. And here when the MD will return the response, it's returning only the employees wala data. So here need to add the manager wala response will not return na inside it. Here it is returning inside the manager. Now MD is going with your the employees data only, which is whether the empty fields are there na I think.
So where d is equal, we cannot directly write that.
Here only like we'll pass it d dot but d which is returning the in employees like there is no name wala field, so you can send through this also na here. So are you getting these things like what I am trying here? Here the mapper is passing the employee DTO2, but still the value will get null na. The name wala field now we are getting from the manager.
We don't have to set here.
Need to set here.
Yes.
Yes, how to add this field now? MD which is taking the now only these details, but mname will not written here. Are here it's not list na, only the single find by id here. So here we'll get it now mname, and we'll set the data from your manager dot it's correct na. Now it should be written the mname.
So that method also.
It is fine, we'll change it, the return type there. So we'll change it, that is a part of your return type na. We'll make the change there. Here it is not returning the data na, then here we return the manager DTO na, so it should be written the manager DTO wala data. In a manager DTO it is there. Now yeah, ID is going correctly. Yes, think it here. We reach up to this method now. In MD, like we are sending the response na here now. Okay, what we'll do, like we'll just return this thing only, and I'll pass debugger. We'll check what data is getting written here. Okay, we have to check what here the manager is returning. We'll pass ID here. Give here debugger, just will remove it. So we'll check through the debugger first what data is going. The ID parameter in route we pass ID or not? Yes, in route we pass the ID or not here? This ID is required, na here. Hmm. We have inserted, na employees. We have inserted, na.
Yes, sir. Yes. Gaurav.
See here we'll check the debugger. ID is 1.
Excuse me, boss. You have a text message.
See here the ID we are getting 1. It's correctly it is returning, na. It means the second one ID it will go inside this. So we need to check the where is the debugger? Method is directly passed, na here. There is no error.
Excuse me, boss. You have a text message.
Data is returning, I think, from this.
Yes, sir. Manager 2 is starting.
This one, na, only the MID was 2. The data is going, it means the data is coming.
From the manager.
Arey wait, why it is? See here I'll check. See here something is going wrong. Everything is correct now. Yes, are you getting this thing? See, here something is going wrong in this one method. The data it's sending, the get manager by ID we are getting the data.
You don't set it with the MD, na, sir. Therefore, it's not getting.
Which one is returning correct one? Up to going this. Yes. Now check for this one. See here the problem is going. Now data is getting from this method. We have created correctly, na, the object. Just check it here.
that manager name to the
Where it's written in the data here, correct. The same only we are doing. And we are sending this response now. We call the method. This is only I am returning. The manager DT only I am returning there. Same only I am returning. Here we have done the changes into the AMP. Na? First of all, in a manager service, like what we did, like inside the repo, we change this one only. We make it like the asynchronous, because we were calling the asynchronous method here. After that, like we change here, correct. So the get manager by ID wala methods asynchronous. Instead of finding like all, like we have changed into the get manager by ID. And there is one controller wala part, that is manager controller, na? Get manager by ID, like we are calling this method. Once it is done, then only like we have to move on the employee service here. In employee service, inside like the repo, we have added this method, the fetch EMP, this one, or we can give the method name as fetch EMP by ID, correct. So same asynchronous, because our response is getting in asynchronous form only. The next thing was what here? The EMP repo. This one, see, fetch EMP by ID. This method only we make it the same things we have done here, and we call the get managers by ID wala method, from where. So first we have to create the manager client wala class here, and you can see the inside the manager clients. Same the dependency injection, and we'll call the same method, na, get manager by ID. This method should be match with your the manager service, correct. Here the get from JSON async, it will just convert, it will just take the data from your the APIs and it will convert into the JSON from this route, correct. And this method where I am calling inside the service, na, here. So where I am calling the service here, this is my service. So I have just created the object for the client here, manager clients wala objects I have injected, and through this client object we access this get manager by ID wala methods. So we are able to access it this data then. Okay, so this is for get managers, and inside the controller, like we call this fetch EMP by ID, the same method. Okay, so this method we have called. Again we have created like now same method, the fetch all EMP, for fetching all of the employees with their managers. The same again, the one repo was there, interface, which is returning the list of DTOs, na? One service was there, which is implementation work for fetching all. So I am just removing these things which is taking too large. Okay, only this one method now only, which is fetching like the list of data, and then we call into the controller here, correct. So it's able to fetch like all of the data here. The important thing is what, like mostly like mainly like we have to go in a program.cs to configure this base address, from which address we are accessing the manager clients. So the manager DTO, like manager client we are accessing, na, that HTTP client wala. So for which address? This address I am taking from the manager wala microservice wala API, correct. So that route, and this is one the key name you can give it like any name, it's user defined, it's any name you can give it. We are not activating this key anywhere, it's just normal key, you can create any name. Understood this? Where I am setting the URL, na? And this URL like we are able to access it to the manager clients. So first steps, like we have to go inside it in a program.cs, need to configure these things, and then only you have to come on a manager client here. Clear?
Yes.